Texas A&M went to Miami last year and got it handed to them. They were down 31-0 before getting really any semblance of an offense. At least they get the Hurricanes at home this time around. Hey, how are you, folks? Jason Horowitz. Glad to be with you. Breaking down college football here on CBSSports.com. And to help me break down the Hurricanes and the Aggies, we bring in Spencer Tillman on the phone from Houston, who's dealing with everything else going on in Houston, but nice enough to join us to break down this game. And Spence, when you talk about Miami and Texas A&M, you talk about two very proud historical programs that have been on the decline, but it really kind of seems like the Aggies are on a steeper incline to get back to the top.
I would say that was fair and accurate reporting there. You look at what Mike Sherman, the head coach, has got to deal with. He's got to deal with a defense and a tradition that's known for its defense, not basically being inept over the last couple of years, and they haven't done much at all. I don't know. You got to go back to maybe 2002 to find out when was the last time they scored a defensive touchdown last week withstanding. So before then, it was just big drought defensively, and that we haven't even gotten to the offensive side of the ball. That is just one of the mysteries of college football to me from an offensive standpoint. Javorsky Lane has been benched. You got Mike Goodson, who came out probably one of the highly recruited running backs in all the country when he came out, not being utilized. And so they're just got issues, no continuity and not utilizing the talent on the field.
Mike Sherman has said heading into this week that they have got to run the football better, and Goodson's got to get more touches. He only has 30 on the season in 2 games. Don't forget, they lost their first game to an opponent they really shouldn't have fallen to. Injuries could play a role in this one as well, especially offensively. We'll start with A&M. Starting quarterback Stephen McGee, as we're taping this on Wednesday, he's questionable. But is it possible that if they go to the backup Jared Johnson, that's a better situation?
It could be. Again, the problem is there's going to be an issue on the offensive line because no matter what they try to do with him, if it's passing, he may not have the time because there's so much inexperience on that offensive line, Jason. That's the reason why they don't have much of a running game, and that's the reason why they haven't passed tremendously effectively is because they don't have the time to develop it. And when you can't create continuity, you're going to have problems at the quarterback position. They've got to find an identity, and typically the best way to do that is to stay simple and run the football. You touched on it a moment ago. You've got to get a running game, something that defines yourself so that you can get comfortable and get in a rhythm and get defenses at least thinking and leaning toward one way of stopping you, and then you can come back and dink them and dunk them a little bit with some things once they commit defensively. So they've got identity crisis going on right now, and I don't really see any, no matter who's the quarterback, any end in sight.
Well, Miami's identity the first 2 games through the season has been with the running attack, but Javaris James not going to play at least for a couple of games with a severely high ankle sprain. How much pressure does that put on Robert Marve?
Well, it puts a lot of pressure on him, again, and mainly because he's a redshirt freshman, and you got Ja'Cory Harris behind him. He's a true freshman. So you got 2 technically freshman quarterbacks there, so your starter as well as your backup. I mean, you got to go back to my time, back in '83, and Bernie Kosar was the last freshman to start for UM at quarterback. So they're in a very peculiar situation with the running back being injured the way he is. Somebody's got to define themselves, and the quarterback play is usually what steps up. Now, they've got some skill position players at wide receiver that they can catch it, but you've got to have a quarterback that can get the ball to them. And they can do some things up front. I like their offensive line, but this is going to be an interesting game, but I think Miami is going to deliver Texas A&M a major blow, mainly because what Shannon has done there at Miami is amass some young, talented people. I think they acquitted themselves against Florida, and if you look at the first half of that game, I don't know what the point differential was, but it wasn't a whole lot.
No.
So I think that they've done a fine job there. So I think Texas A&M is going to be on the short end of this one.
It was 9-3 heading into the fourth quarter. That defense specifically, Spencer, certainly got itself some respectability among college football. And so what you were talking about in Texas A&M having a weakness on offense, Miami having its strength on defense, it doesn't hold up really well there for the Aggies. So you like Miami for the road win?
I like Miami to get the road win in an impressive way. And again, we know how tough it is to play at Kyle Field, but I think what it's going to expose is just how bad the Aggies are right now.
Yeah, we'll see if that plays out. But, of course, trying to get back to a bowl game, it could be tough there for Texas A&M this year. Spencer Tillman, thank you very much. Take care of everything down in Houston. We'll see you Saturday on CBS.
Thank you, Jason. We'll see you, buddy.
All right, folks, for more on this game, 2 proud programs, but again, 2 struggling programs as well, or any other this weekend, be sure to stay with CBSSports.com. For Spencer Tillman, I'm Jason Horowitz. Take care, folks.